What is going on, everyone? Check out my adventure today.
Is it playing?
Yeah, it played just for a brief second. It's only 13 seconds. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone has had a great and fantastic weekend. Michael, how's it going tonight?
It's going pretty good. Been out walking in the woods this evening, doing some.
Yeah.
I didn't go deer hunting. I just went and checked my stands and everything. So,
Yeah. Just went and checked your stands. Any deer?
no, I got a lot on camera, but I hadn't been, 3 or 4 times. So,
Yeah. Well, there's probably going to be some big deer in there for long, right?
yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Should be. There's a lot of sign in the woods.
Well, I wasn't. I mean, I went out in the woods today, but I wasn't really able to metal detect. My knee and everything's just sort of hurting me. And of course, Michael and I were together yesterday, and and Michael was helping me clean out my dad's house and trying to get it ready for sale. And I appreciated Michael coming down and helping me out with that. But again, I appreciate it, buddy. And we worked our honeys off and moved around a lot of stuff, but we had some good food, didn't we, buddy?
Yeah, we got to watch Nate eat a lot of food, didn't we?
Nate will eat a whole bunch of food for sure. So, Michael, we got a good many people in here tonight. Let's see if we can get this. We're gonna do a little bit of switching up here, Michael. Let's put our there we go. Now we're back. Let's give some shout outs, Michael, because we got 32 people in here, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more joining in as the night goes on. We got Mr. Digging Daryl, and I appreciated Digging Daryl being on with me Friday night. And again, he filled in excellent for
Yeah.
me, and I appreciated him doing that. And always great to have Digging Daryl on the show with us. Super great guy, and really appreciate him. Mr. Chris is in here with us. He said, hello, old Pelon. And Mr. Sniff It Out is here tonight, Michael. Mr. L.C. Hunt is here with us. Mr. Ricky Bennett. He says, greetings, everyone. I had to sneeze, Michael. And then we have Mr. Relics and Rings is in the house. Glad to have Andrew in here with us tonight. Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Lance is in here. Glad to have Lance rocking and rolling with us tonight. Mr. Steve Simmons is in here. Glad to have you, Steve, with us tonight. Mr. Patrick Parker, always a great supporter of the channel. Appreciate him being in here. Mr. Kevin Wood. Hello, Kevin. Nice to have you in here with us tonight. Mr. Tash Ridge Digger is in the house. Glad to have him in here. Mr. Surfside Dan is here with us tonight. He says, hello, all. We got Bells. I hadn't seen Bells in a while, but glad to have Bells back in here with us tonight. We appreciate her so much. Mr. Troy Duguay, I guess is how you say his name. Appreciate you being in here with us, Troy. We've got Mr. James Bazell. James, always a great supporter of the channel. We got Papa Vane in here tonight, Michael. So glad to have Papa Vane. We got Mr. Danny N. Glad to have Danny in with us. Mr. Edward G. Always a wonderful supporter of the channel. We appreciate Danny in. Mr. Kerry Pope is in the house. Glad to have Kerry. Mr. Mark Rayner is in the house. Glad to have him with us. Digging Dude is in here with us. He said he missed us the other night, and glad that he was able to make it tonight. And I'll let him know that we were doing our Sunday show as well. Dirt Devil Detecting is in here with us, Michael. Glad to have him with us. Always a great and wonderful supporter of the channel. Mr. Rito Marcella, all the way from Ireland. Glad to have Rito in here. He's always with us. Make sure he tunes in. He doesn't care what time he has to stay up, Michael. He's tuning in and watching us. Isn't that great?
What time is it in Ireland?
It's got to be around 1 o'clock or 1:30. It's in that range for sure.
Wow.
But Yes, we are. We he said the clocks went back today, so he actually saved an hour. So I know he's glad about that. We got Mr. Quick Cat 21MK in the house. Glad to have him. We got BK in the house. How's it going, BK? So we've got quite a few people, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot more, Michael, because they know that it is giveaway night, and we're going to do our best with the giveaways. Just a reminder, I'll give just to give y'all a heads up, the way we're doing our giveaways from now on, you have to leave a comment on the video that I listed. And the video that I listed was a short that I put up, and it's wow, a crazy find from the 1700s. So if you want to get in on the prize giveaways tonight, you have to go leave a comment over there because we're pulling our winners from the comments. So do that if you want to get in for the prize giveaway tonight. And that'll, of course, that helps my channel too. But again, that will get you in for the drawing tonight. So definitely make sure that you do it as well. So again,
Patrick was asking about the game. They won 26-23. It was a
yeah,
really
yeah,
good
they
game.
had, it was a big victory for Nate and them. So I bought Nate 2 double cheeseburgers yesterday for his big victory. Didn't I, Michael?
Yeah, I couldn't eat all that.
he gobbled those cheeseburgers down like it was nobody's business. We got a couple other people showing up. Mr. Workman's Adventure is in the house. Glad to have Workman's Adventure with us. And again, we got a full house, Michael. A lot
Yeah.
of people showing up. So um, we're going to talk about a couple of things today, Michael. And on Friday night, Daryl and I talked about the Garrett. I don't know that you saw the video that Garrett put out showing the iron discrimination
I
features that
did.
they've added to the Vortex. What did you think of that, Michael?
I mean, it was interesting. And I mean, for the money, I was, you know, pretty impressed with that machine. You know, for the money, I mean, it's we're not saying it's it's a Deus 2 or a Manicore, but I think in its price range, it's a solid machine. It
Right,
looks
and
good.
I was really impressed with what they did with that machine too, and
Yeah,
again, it'll be interesting once that machine comes out, what ends up happening with it. In case y'all wondering what I was doing, I'm having to put biofreeze on my knee and on my Achilles heel because I'm really struggling, but I was rubbing that biofreeze on there because my knee is killing me, and Michael knows it's killing me too. But anyway, yeah, I was impressed with it, Michael. And again, once this machine comes out, I'm hoping to get one and sort of test it in the iron and see how it does. What do you think, Michael? You think it's going to be on par with the not the triple score and the elite? Do you think it's going to be at that level at least?
um, yeah, that's something we'll have to see. I mean, the tests, they look impressive, but it's something we'll have to kind of test for ourselves.
Right.
But it looks good just going off that video. So I
Yeah,
mean,
well, and again, those, and it's like I said the other night on Friday night, you got to do your own testing really to sort of
right.
figure those things out. It's good to go out there and test it, in your backyard, test it in your type of dirt, test it like you see a lot of us doing with the blocks and on the patio and elevating the nails. I mean, those things can tell you a lot, but it really all comes down to when you take it out in the field, what do you see it actually doing? And of course, the only problem is when you get out in the field, you don't know what's under the ground. So that's why you test it first and you see how it responds on those tests. And then you take it out in the field and see if it sort of responds the same way. You'll know what those sounds sound like. You'll know what the possible configuration could be. So that's what you get out of test. But
Well,
take it out in the field, and that's when you learn a lot from the machine.
well,
Go ahead.
it's like all these machines. If you can knock out all the iron, you can knock out all the bottle caps, but when you do that, you knock out the good targets as well. There's a balance. And it's the same way with this machine and the Deus and the Manicore and the any machine. You gotta kind of adjust those settings to where you can still hear the good targets and not hear as much, falsing on iron, and that's, it's something you got to try play around with, and set you up a little test at the house where you can get it, dialed in. Be
Right.
good to get some nails from the area where you hunt.
Right, because there are different types of nails, believe it or not, too. You can
Right.
go to different areas of the United States and there are different types of nails. Of course, you and I mainly deal with these colonial square nails that are hand forged, and they got sort of a different sound to them as well. And that was one of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight, because we let off with talking about the Garrett machine and iron discrimination and digging in iron and looking, trying to deal with nails and big iron. So tonight I wanted to start our show with sort of talking about big iron and nails and what we actually do to sort of determine, that could possibly be a nail or that could possibly be big iron. So I thought, and most of us know some of these tricks, but there may be a few people in here that do not know that. And if they're tuning in, that's what we're going to talk about for a few minutes. And then we're going to move on to possibly talking a little bit about coil sizes. And we're going to talk about something that I got today, and you and I were discussing it earlier
Yeah.
about hot dirt. And that was one of the things too that I thought we would discuss tonight and sort of go through some of that stuff as
Uh,
well.
Patrick Parker's got a question there, Brian. He said,
Okay.
"Does dew on the ground affect metal detecting in any way?" I don't really think the dew on the ground does. Moisture in the ground
Right.
does. If you got a lot of moisture, it can actually help you if you got some moisture in the ground. The dry ground is tougher, to pick up those targets. But as far as dew on top of the ground, I don't think it really does. Do you, Brian?
No, I mean, I'm with you. When the ground gets a little moisture in it, it really can help sort of magnify those targets in a roundabout way. So, if really the best time to go metal detecting is after a real heavy rain and that
Yeah.
dirt has got a little bit of moisture to it. And you can start finding things that you might have missed because dry soil doesn't necessarily enhance those targets, whereas wet soil will. Now, you don't want it muddy wet like that because that can actually cause problems too. But if it's got a little bit of dampness to it, it can be actually be a big help in a lot of ways.
Right.
So again, that's what I wanted to talk about, Michael, and that's what we're going to get into. I'm going to look at a couple of these comments. I usually run all metal, drives you crazy sometimes, but you won't miss much, and that's a good way too when you're hunting in heavy iron is to run the machine wide open. I mean, I know that can be annoying. All metal mode in the Mine Lab machines, no notch or discrimination. You run that discrimination as low as you can to try to pick out targets in that heavy iron. And that's what Michael and I do. The other thing that we do is, and I know a lot of you know this, is when you get over big iron, sometimes it's coming off really strong and it sounds like a good target. And of course, the best thing to possibly do is to actually lift your coil slightly and you can tell. The other thing that you can do is you can move to the side of that target. And once you get to the very edge of that big iron, sometimes you'll hear that little grunt at the end to let you
Or
know.
birds, yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear that little buzz or that grunt sort of at the end of the target. Now, how do you know if it's a mass target? Well, if it's mass, one of the things that you can do is you can turn on it. And Michael and I use this quite a bit. You can turn on it, and if you can get a continuous signal all the way around that target, then more than likely it's something good. If it begins to fade out when you get about a half of a turn, or three-quarters of a turn sometimes, then you got to make that decision whether you want to dig or not. But usually, again, it ends up being a piece of iron or a nail that's really causing that problem. And then, of course, you can look at your screen. And of course, the Manicore does a great job with this. The Deus 2 does a great job with the ID numbers, especially that's why Michael and I preach about the sweeper program, because we feel like it gives you the best target ID. Michael, any other tips you want to give to people? Because there may be some people on here that may not know some of those things.
Uh, well, it's the same way, with trash too. A lot of times you can raise your coil up, and if you're still picking it up 12 inches off the ground, or
Right.
you know above the ground, it's a can or something like that. It's especially with the days too. You can hear a good target. You can kind of. It's got a different tone to it.
Right, right. And we've talked a lot about audio. We've talked about PWM audio, how we love that on the dais too. How running it in full tones tends to give us a little better signal. Pitch, not a bad idea. I run pitch occasionally. I still stick mainly with full tones, but I love full tones and PWM audio because I think that gives me the best tonal nuances that you can possibly get. Now, if you run fast on the dais too, and you run pitch and you run PWM audio, you can really tell a lot about a target. The only problem is that when you run fast, you open yourself up for a little more falsing than what you would with sensitive full tones, or that's my observation. What do you think about that, Michael?
I think so. And the ID is, I mean, you may get on a lot of the targets, but you won't have that ID from what I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yes, I know. And there's a lot of good suggestions on here. Digging Dude brings up a good one. He says, remember, general program on the XP Deus 2 has filters to help with surface moisture. And he's
Right.
exactly right. That's what general does. It really does help with some of that moisture and stuff that's in the ground. Key Date Kid brings up a good point that the moisture compresses the ground, which again will help magnify the signal, which is really good. Sometimes if you are doing a test garden, you can run a little bit of water over your test garden just so you can make those signals sort of stand out a little bit more. So if you know where you're burying them, just run a little bit of water over them. The other thing you can do is pack them down really good, stomp on them sometimes. That helps. But again, there's all sorts of things that you can do to help out in a test garden. Digging Dude also says iron is incredible in the UK. I can't even imagine the amount of iron over in Europe versus the amount of iron here. I know we deal with a lot of iron, but they deal with a lot of really old iron. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Roman.
Iron. He says iron from BC and Roman times, medieval, and later to present times. I bet Rito has some interesting comments about iron across the pond. I'm sure he does. And I'm hoping to maybe go to Europe within the next year or two, and hoping to go over there and do some hunting as well. And I'm looking forward to that, and going over there and maybe seeing some of that old iron in person, Michael. So, but yeah, any other tips, Michael, that you want to share?
None that I can think of right now. I mean, if anybody's got any questions or anything,
Yeah.
or maybe they got a tip to share.
Edward G says Legend has M3, and M3 supposedly deals with a little more moisture in the
Right.
dirt as
I've
well.
heard.
And M3 is really good in modern trash as well. And so M3 is a great setup on the Legend. So that's a good one. Thank you for sharing that, Edward G. There's Mr. Digging It Back. Hey, Charlie, glad to have you in here. Digging Daryl says we need some moisture. Yeah, we do too. It hasn't rained. It rained here today for the first time. Now it didn't rain much, and it rained a
Right.
little bit last night. But that's the first rain we've had since the tropical storm that came through. So
Right. That's the same way here. We got a little bit of rain last night, and that's the first rain we've had since that storm.
right, yeah. Everybody's saying it's dry. It sure is. It has been. It's been extremely dry. So and the dirt that I've been digging in over the last couple of weeks has been. I mean, once you get past the top layer, it's just
Powder.
dust. Almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just dust almost. So, but yeah, those were just some tips and things. I mean, I know some of you may know some things. Really, deciding the setup on your machine, just like a few people were just mentioning, with the Legend, with the M3, adjusting the Ferris limits on the Manicore. You can do, I run all metal on the Equinox. I run it wide open on the Legend. You can use, I like multi-two for relic hunting on the Legend and the triple score. I usually run those. I run multi-two when I use those for relic hunting, and I like those a lot too. And
What do you use? Is it Fork too? You use on
I use
the
part
Elite?
two on the Equinox, and the reason why I use that is
Yeah.
I believe that it's weighted a little bit higher.
Right.
So again, some of those mid conductors, low conductors, you can hit with Park Two, whereas if you run Park One, it is geared towards a lower frequency. So that's why I run Park Two for relic hunting. And for those of you that have the Elite, or you have the Equinox, those would be the two. On the Manicore, relic hunting, I usually use all-terrain low conductors, and I will run fast occasionally. I like all-terrain low conductors. I don't think it acts as wonky with all-terrain low conductors running it.
Yeah.
Digging Daryl's on here, he can tell me, he can sort of tell us, and I like General too, but those two tend to do the best, I think, on a relic site. So
Right.
fast
I think
and
the low conductor does.
yeah, and all terrain low conductors and running those Ferris limits the way that we have them set up, I think works really good on a relic site. It really helps you with the iron, and that's
Yeah.
again the whole conversation tonight is about iron, knowing the difference when you're using the Deus 2 though. One thing that you can always sort of count on is you sort of get it's almost like a force signal
Yeah.
that really will sound off, and it usually alerts you, and it's really loud. But you can also see how big that iron is. So if you move your coil, like I was saying earlier, if you move your coil around that target, you're going to be able to tell if it's a big piece of iron and not a coin or anything crazy like that. But you may be hunting iron. But if you're not hunting iron, then move it around to see how big that target is. And 9 times out of 10, if you're still getting that signal, spread out a little bit more, then it's a big piece of iron. So those are just some tips and things that I do. I know Michael does the same thing, but we're on relic sites to sort of figure out, hey, this is a big piece of iron. And then the nails, the same way. Usually you can turn on those nails, and if you turn on them and you start to see them sort of begin to break, that signal sort of starts to break up a little bit, or it goes away completely when you make that sort of 3/4 turn or quarter turn, then you're 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a nail.
Right.
Let's see. We got a few people. Deus 2 users should try Gary Blackwell's Techno program. It's very good in the iron. So the only thing I've seen with that Techno program, and I tried it and tested it a little bit just to see what it would do. Running the discrimination up that high, some of those signals act a little bit wonky for us.
Right.
I don't know why that is. I guess because the discriminations run, and just like what Michael was saying, you can adjust your machine too much to where you begin to knock out things. But that's the only thing I've seen. I mean, it's basically the same setup that I use, but it's just running the discrimination really, really high. And I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm a little on the fence on that one. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah. I mean, I used it some, but I'm the same way with you. Um, I didn't really like it. I would just tell you that I didn't like the sound of it really.
Yeah, it sounded a little bit different, and it might just take some getting used to, you
Right.
know. But there's a couple of comments on here. Metal Detecting with CZ Kid said he's been enjoying Digging Dude's videos. He said that Nexus looks interesting. So Digging Dude has got a Nexus. So we've been hearing a little bit about the Nexus lately. And again, single frequency machine. I honestly believe that the Nexus and the original Deus, they had a lot going on, because I think that, the Deus, we saw this, Michael, and I showed this in a video. When we
Right.
start running those frequencies up, especially when you get above 20, that it still has some great unmasking capabilities that maybe people were sort of ignoring, thinking that, hey, just because we got multi-frequency, these single frequency machines can't match up. But they can, Michael. They can if you can set it up the proper way. And from what I've seen out of this Nexus machine, I think it does. I think it's doing the sort of the same stuff that the Deus was doing.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's really, really deep. I don't know much about it, just the videos that I've seen, but really interesting to see what's happening with that machine. Again, it's a single frequency machine. When you buy a coil, you got whatever frequency you're going to be using with that coil when you set it up.
Right.
At least that's what I saw. And Dig and Dude might be able to say a little bit more about that too. Relics and Rings says, I've gone to using general on the Manicore for most of my detecting. I like general on the Manicore. I just think that all-terrain low conductors, for whatever reason, tends to work really good in the iron that we're hunting in. And it's just, again, we've adjusted the Ferris limits on it, and it works great for Michael and I. Michael and I found some great artifacts, some great relics
Yeah.
running in all-terrain low conductors, and it works really good as well. Workman's Adventure says, I like low conductor on the Manicore, so there you go. Yeah, I like all-terrain low conductors. Dig and Dude says, thanks. He's got more videos coming. He said the Nexus is an interesting machine. Well, we look forward to seeing those, Dig and Dude. Yeah, here we go. That big iron could turn. It could, and he's talking about Surfside Dan, who's on here. Surfside Dan dug a piece of big iron, and it turned out to be a French pistol
Yeah, that was a big surprise, wasn't it?
from 1858. Yeah, it was a beauty. Though it really was. I was just stunned when he dug that thing out. And but he kept swearing up and down to me. He goes, "Oh, I think it's a non-ferrous." I said, "That thing's a big piece of iron," and he pulled that thing out, and it was a pistol. But he's right, man. Tatum was easy kid, exactly right. But I was so excited, and I know Dan was too when he dug that pistol. It was awesome. It really was. Edward G says, I've been bouncing back and forth between park and field on the Legend, but mostly M2 and open up as much as possible lately. Right. I think M2 on the Legend is just, to me, it just works the best. But I do know M3 works really good with modern trash. Steve Simmons says that I turn up the iron volume on the Deus too. Wow. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I turn it all the way down, though. Some of the places I don't even want to hear it because it's just so much. But it's great information. If you're looking for a site, I strongly suggest leaving that iron as wide open as you can to help you find those iron sites. Because when you find the iron, of course, all of you know this, you're probably going to find the artifacts and the relics to go with it. So always run that iron open for sure. Rito says the Jethro program works good here in Ireland and UK. It's based on the diving program. And I've seen some people using that over there. Seems like it really works well on those hammered coins. I like the dive program on the beach because it runs the most stable. And Michael, have you ever used the dive program at all?
Very little. I've done some testing with it, and and I've talked to you when you were hunting on the beach, but I haven't used it much.
Right, right. Yeah, Digging Darrell's right. That Nexus machine is yeah, it's pretty expensive, and I don't know that I want to fork down $3,000 or $3,500 for a single frequency machine. I mean,
Right.
I'll just use the Deus. How about that?
Yeah.
But hey, it seems like a really good machine. So, I'll be interested to see. And of course, Digging Dude said he's had his for over a year. So I'll be interested to see how that sort of plays out. Elsie Hunt says, I've had a hard time with technical discrimination at 42, but I stuck with it and it's good. Set your iron volume to 7 or 8 and you still hear everything. Yeah. And the only thing is that the signals, even the good signals, they sound like they're breaking for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
maybe it's just the way that I had it set up. Um, let's see here. Edward G says, Manuel, if you're looking for mostly coins, then M1, all around M2. Yeah, wet ground, M3 is good. That's right. That's exactly right. Metal Technic with CZ Kid says, thumbs up. I'll give it. Yes, thank you so much, Metal Technic with CZ Kid. I appreciate that. We are trying to share the knowledge tonight and bring you guys all kinds of stuff that we try, tricks and things that we try. And again, a lot of y'all know a lot of things too. Rito Marcellus says, I think different coil size works better with certain programs. I agree. And I've said this, and Michael knows that I've said this. I think when these manufacturers design these machines, they design them first for the 11-inch coil, and then they make slight modifications for the other size coils later on after the fact. That's why I believe the 11-inch is still probably one of the best coils that you can put on your machine,
Yeah.
regardless of the manufacturer. And then I think the other coils are sort of like afterthoughts that come along with it later on down the road. And but I could be wrong on that. They may, design them all the way down, but I think there's something to be said about that. And then also too, Rito brings up a great point, and I've said this too. Guys, use a bunch of different coils on your sites. Hunt it with the 11, hunt it with a 9, hunt it with a 5x8, hunt it with a 13. Run through your coils, run through different programs, because every program has a benefit and a gain that another program might not have. And every coil has a benefit or a gain that another size coil might not have.
Right.
So again, if you've got the opportunity to keep going back to a site, you'll find that you can unlock that site even more by running different coils or running different programs and testing those programs out. And I've done that. In fact, I just did that last week, and I walked away with a Trime. Right, Michael?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we
So
really hadn't hunted that site much with the 9-inch coil until
no,
you
we
back
haven't.
over it.
No, we've hunted. I hunted it with a 15-inch. Remember, I hunted it with the Manicore. I
Mm-hmm.
hunted it with the 11-inch on the Manicore. I hunted it with the 11-inch on the Deus 2. We hunted it with the 9-inch on the Manicore. And then I
Right.
came back with the 9-inch on the Deus 2. And every single time I've unlocked stuff that Michael and I know that we've walked over those areas, but for whatever reason, those targets were still there, including a Trime, wasn't it,
Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Spray Can Michael says that, and we'll get to some of these comments. I saw Algo Force Pulse Induction on YouTube. Was very interesting machine. Price was $3,000 though. Yeah, I'm just having a hard time with $3,000. That's an expensive machine, but I bet it's good. I've heard some people talking about that as well.
Right.
Spray Can Michael. So appreciate it. Patrick Parker said for $3,500, it better be good. It is, from what I've seen, the depth on that machine is really, really good. And Digging Dude can attest to that. He says, yeah, Digging Daryl, yeah, it's very expensive, mainly because they are not mass produced. Yeah, made one time. Special order. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Lance says, I use the Beach Dry program on land all the time now on the Legend. The last update really made it clear on deep targets, and it's the most stable program on the Legend now. And that's interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting, Lance. I've never used the Beach program on the Legend to metal detect land. Now, I have done it with the Deus too, and I have tried it with the Deus originally. And there's something to be said about that as far as stability goes with those. I feel like a lot of those Beach programs, especially if you run them on land, I think they're really deep. I know the dive program on land on the Deus 2 is extremely deep. I
Yeah.
I I used it a few times when I went to dig stock a couple of years ago. There was a lot of modern trash, and so I flipped over to the dive program, and I dug a quarter that was probably 13 or 14 inches down, and I was running dive. So I do know that it's really deep especially in real sandy soil like what I was hunting in North Carolina. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with running some of those beach programs. If those things are working, I strongly say use it. Try it. You never know. Digging Dude says, yeah, back to XP and digital. I wish XP would offer a different concentric coils. I do too. The double D coils and the concentric coils, they had their benefits. And I think the more the better. What do you think about that, Michael?
I don't think anybody has a concentric coil right now for a multi-frequency machine that I can
Right.
think of. They don't.
And it
Um,
and I wonder why. There's got to be a reasoning behind it.
right.
Some people believe that the concentric coils they give you more coverage, and I believe that too. But you don't see a lot of these multi-frequency, or you don't see any using a concentric coil. But Digging Dude's right. It would be interesting to see what a concentric coil would be like on a multi. Hey, we don't know that, that the JS2 new coil coming out might be a concentric coil.
Right.
Who
We don't know
knows?
what's coming.
Yeah, that the new HF coil. Digging Dude says he says I use all three of my XP coils and programs. He says great point, Brian. Appreciate that, Digging Dude. Yeah, go out and use all those coils. And I think with this new set of coils that or new coil that they're coming out with, I think that that's just gonna add to the arsenal, and you can use the whole gamut, and run it over these sites and see what you can find. Yes. Edward G says, yeah, the ground giveth when it's ready to give it to us. That's right. You're
Yeah.
exactly right, Edward G. And again, take your machine, set it up differently, run it through a few times, set it up with a different coil. Keep going back if you can. I know sometimes a lot of us we only get one shot, and I do understand that. But if you can go back, it's always great to go back with different programs and different size coils, and it really tends to open up those sites as well. Rito Marcella says, looking at people using the 9-inch on the Manicore, and they swear it's the best coil to use. Well, you're not going to get much argument from Michael and I either.
I like that coil a lot.
Yeah. The 9-inch coil, I think that's the coil that they probably should have released with the machine, to be
Yeah,
honest
I
with you.
think so too.
The 11 is great, though. I've had a lot of great success with the 11, but I really love the 9. I think it balances the machine out, so it doesn't feel as heavy. The other thing is it's great for if you're going to go water hunting. You don't get a lot of drag in the ocean or swinging in a river or a lake or creek or whatever you're swinging in. Um, it's thin. It's very thin. I mean, it's not big at all. And I just like that coil, Michael. It really unmasked very well, and it's super deep too for a 9-inch coil. So yeah, I'm with Rito on that one for sure. Relics and Rings says that Algo Force is $1,500. I've tested it, and he says he wasn't impressed with it. I've never seen one, so you guys will be the judge of that. Doug Atkins says, if I spend $3,500 on the detector, I'll need a $3,500 to cover the divorce. I'm with you on that, Doug. My wife would have a fit if I spent $3,500. But
Yeah.
again, most of us we're using the machines that are usually within our price range and within our budgets, and whatever our budget is and whatever machine that we choose, um, we've just got to get the best that we can at using it. I really honestly believe that. And I've seen people go out with AT Pros. I've seen people go out with Ace 250s. I've seen people go out with Manicores, and they all have the opportunity of finding great things based on their knowledge of their machine. And if you really know that machine, then yes. The percentage, how many more fines could you get with a $1,700 machine versus a $500 machine? I think that percentage is extremely small at this point.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Michael?
I think you're right. These machines, even the mid-tier machines, they've come a long way, and they've closed the gap as far as performance. From the high dollar machines to the mid range, there's not a lot of difference. There as far
Right.
as performance.
Yeah. I just, I just think it's gotten a lot smaller. Now,
Yeah,
again, there are some things that are going to help you with the Manicore or with the Deus 2 or some of these upper tier machines that might get you a few more fines. That's true. But I mean, how many more fines? Somebody that really knows how to run a legend or a elite or a triple score or even a vanquish or an apex and even the lower tier machines, the Xterra. I mean, even though it's single frequency or the simplex, if somebody really knows how to run that machine, they're going to still do quite well. I just
right.
think the percentages are not as big as maybe some of us think. And you're the judge of that. But I think when you learn that machine, you go out and learn how to use it and just enjoy it. Whatever it is you got. I mean, that's ultimately what it's all about. Go out and enjoy the hobby, enjoy the machine. Don't worry about not having a $1,700 machine and don't worry about having a $250 machine. Go out and enjoy the hobby and just have fun. That's basically what it all boils down to. Digging Darrell says he marked off a 100 by 100 area at an old football field. I hunted that area with different programs and coils and found stuff that you miss with each. And that's right. That just, again, that goes back to what I just said, Darrell. And thank you for bringing that up because, again, you will miss things and you will find out that there are some things that one coil will find that the other coil won't find, that one program will find that another program won't find. That's why it's so important to do that as well. Rito
Right.
Marcella says that the 280 is bigger and better. Don't get the 240. You won't fit all your coils without removing the stem. And the 280, I have the 280. I can get all three of my coils in there and my machines, everything in there. The 240, I don't have the 240. You got the 240 though, don't you, Michael?
Yeah, I got both. I got the 280 and the 240. I carry the 240 some in the summertime when it's hot weather and yeah, it's a lighter weight option if you're just going to carry one coil and not a lot of gear. But as far as holding everything that you need, that 280 it'll hold all three coils and
Right.
the everything you need really.
Yeah, the two. And again, it's got tons of room. You can see on the inside, tons of space. It's got a rain cover that you can pull over the top. You've got all sorts of different pockets. It's got a thing for your cell phone if you want to put that in there. But the 280 is just a really, really, really nice backpack.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, for sure. So, yeah, digging dude. He says, Doug Atkins. He says, Shh, my wife don't know. Talking about the price of those machines.
Right.
They're expensive.
Mhm.
Relics and Rings also says sometimes you have to spend the money to get specialized detector. I almost spent 6,000 on a GPX 6,000.
Right.
Yeah, those
Well, it
four.
all depends on what you want to do with the machine. What you're doing with it. And,
Yeah,
I
that's
was,
true. That's true. How about a little chatting for us that do not live in an area that holds relics? We have mainly to stick to coin and jewelry hunting in newer areas. Yeah. So again, James, there are some great programs that you can run on the Deus 2 that are good for park hunting. I like general and of course park are good. I like sensitive too. Deep high conductor works really well in parks.
yeah,
Um, those would be the ones that I would strongly, if you got a Deus too. The Equinox, of course, has a park program. So you can run Park 1 for silver, Park 2 for lower conductors like gold. And same way with Field 1 and Field 2. course, you got those. And for the Legend, they have part programs as well. And if you're hunting with aluminum and trash, modern trash, then run the M3 program. So those will be my suggestions for park hunting and coin hunting. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I agree with you. Deep high conductor would be good in the parks. It especially looking for the deeper coins that a lot of people may have missed. Because they were at a deeper depth. In a lot of these parks, that's all you're going to get, the deeper stuff, and you could kind of got to tune your ears to hear that little whisper of that deep coin.
Right. Edward G says the upper tier machine should give you a slight advantage, assuming you have it set up correctly and swing over the target at the right angle. Right. And they've all got their benefits to them. And again, I still think the percentage though is not as great as maybe what some of us think. If you know your machine, and you're right, Edward G. If you know that upper tier machine, then that's going to give you a few more finds as well. Just for the simple fact that you know that machine. Um, so there we go. Rito says you won't fit the 13-inch coil without removing the stem. That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
I can fit my 13-inch in my 280. Yeah, the 280 is a hot ticket. Metal Tech, Northwestern Wisconsin. Glad to have you in here. He says, I'm late to the party. We've been on here roughly about 45 minutes, so we're glad to have you here. Digging Dude says, look, it's a hobby. I enjoyed it, and if I couldn't afford it, I wouldn't have bought it. I believe very good. The high-end machines find the same things. Right, they do.
Right.
That's exactly right, Digging Dude. You're dead on with that. Keegan says, good evening, everyone. Glad to have Keegan in here with us tonight. Digging Dude says that my machines are light tools that I use for specific purposes, and that's right.
Yeah.
I look at it the same way when I go out metal detecting. What is it that I'm wanting to accomplish when I go out? And sometimes I select machines based on that,
Yeah.
And I do that. And you're exactly right. Edward G says he still runs M2 at parks. Right, M2 works great. Surfside Dan says you can walk onto an airplane with a 280 backpack.
He says, "Can you walk?"
Oh, can you walk on
I
to
don't
an
know.
airplane?
That's going to be pretty big for carry on, I think.
Yeah,
But
I think it might be too big for carry
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so too. I think that might be too big for carry on. So again, I don't know. But yeah, Michael. So we've talked about God, we've talked about a lot of things tonight. So we talked about programs, things that we run, things that we use. We've talked about coil sizes. Different size coils definitely can help you, whether you're going to use a 15-inch, a 13-inch, a 9-inch, an 11-inch, 5x8, 6-inch. They're all specialized for certain things. That's why it's so important that if you do have the opportunity to go into a site, that you choose the correct coil. So, Michael, here's my next question, and I'll let everybody else chime in just a second. If you only had one shot to go into a site, which size coil would you use?
on which machine?
That's a good question. What if it's the Deus 2?
Um, we've seen a lot of good stuff from the 11-inch coal on the days too.
Okay.
As far as I think it does just as good. Um, I think your best all around size coal for the Manicore and the days too is the 9-inch coal. As far as weight and separation and depth, you're not missing a whole lot as far as depth goes. So I think the 9-inch kind of fits the um, you know, what you're looking for, weight to depth in size. You get good ground coverage with a 9-inch too. So I mean, I would go with a 9-inch for both of them.
9-inch. So
Yep.
9-inch for the Deus 2, not the 11.
I think I would go with a 9 and then the 9 for the Manicore too, or the
Okay.
9.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you said 9 inch, and I'm looking at some of the comments. Metal Tech Northwestern Wisconsin says 9 inch too. LC Hunt, and this is always interesting. I just put the third. He's talking about his bag with the 13-inch coil. Doug Atkins says 9 inch. You know, Relics and Rings. He says I take the 11-inch 90% of the time. If you only had it one shot at a site,
Right.
you take the 11 or would you take the 9? And or or another size. I don't know. Some of you may take a 13 or 15 into a site just because you want to get more coverage, to try to get as much site. One site, one shot. Which coil do you take for relic hunting? We're not talking about beach hunting or anything else. Relic hunting. Which one do you take? Digging Dude says one site, XP. He says, I love the 9 inch, can swing all day, gets great depth and separation. So it looks like a lot of us are agreeing. LC Hunt says 9 inch. Right. 9 inch. Yeah. If I only get one shot, I'm going with the 9 inch on the Deus 2, hands down.
Right.
I mean, I like the 9 inch, but I'm like you too. I've seen some great look. I found some amazing things with that 11-inch coil. But
Yeah.
if I've only got one shot at it, I don't know, Michael. I might still lean towards the 11 if I've only got one shot. Just because I want to cover more ground, and I want to get. I'm not really worried about depth, but I want to still get good separation. And I like the 11-inch. I would say
Well,
the
you,
11 for me on the Deus 2. Now on the Manicore, the 9.
yeah. Well, the 11 and the 9 inch as far as depth, there's not a whole lot of. We've seen that. You're not losing much depth with going from the 9 to 11 or the
Right.
11 to the 9. It's pretty deep. The 9 inch is.
Thank you, Prospectors Cash, for the donation, the super chat. We appreciate that. All those donations go straight back into the channel, pays for our live stream, pays for our cameras. We got some new cameras coming too, Michael. I hadn't even told you about this yet, but we do got some new stuff coming that we're going to be using on the channel as well. So again, all those donations go straight back into what we're doing here. And again, this isn't free, believe it or not. So I appreciate that, and shipping for some of the prizes that we're getting ready to give away in just a few minutes. Prospectors Cash also says he likes the 11-inch. I like the 11 on the Deus 2, on the Manicore it's the 9, on the Legend. You Legend users that are on here, I don't, Michael, I like the 11-inch coil on the Legend too. Yeah, and the Equinox. If I'm looking at those, and I would probably say on the triple score, I don't know. Triple score is tough. They don't have an 11-inch, so I might even use the 5x8 or 5x9 that they have for the triple score.
Right.
More so than that 13. I don't like that. That 13-inch coil is just a big coil, and it's heavy. And if I only got one shot, I'd rather be able to swing. I'd be out there all day, like what somebody said earlier. So that's interesting. James says that he would use the 9-inch coil. I love the 9-inch. It's a great coil. There's no question about it. I would use a larger coil if I'm detecting on high pasture or stubble. Plowed fields, I use 9-inch, as I think you get deeper targets, the bigger coil. Read the field. Right. Right. And again, site does depend on what coil you're going to use. So if you're in an open field, naturally you might go with a bigger coil.
Right.
Just depends. But I really like the 11 on the Deus 2, and I use the 9 as well. I'll switch back and forth. Like I've been using the 9 the last couple of times on the site that I've been on, and it's performed really well. But I've also ran the 11 on there. So again, it's an interesting topic. After attending another few seated hunts, I'm curious if you guys ever hit any of those. Will we see you out and about one of these days? I usually go to XP has sent me to Dig Stock, which isn't far from me. Of course, Corey, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a school teacher and a coach. So, it's sort of hard for me just to take off and go travel right now. But I do go to some events, and Digstock has been the one that I've been to the last 2 years for XP. XP has sent me out for those types of shows. I was supposed to go to the Treasure Fest hunt, the Kaduha Festival that Dig and Daryl went to, but unfortunately, my school plans and coaching season is just it just conflicts with it, so I wasn't able to go. But maybe you will see me out sometime in the near future and going to some of those events. My whole thing is, I like going and meeting people at those events more so than actually metal detecting, and it's fun because you just get to hang out with guys, and you can meet up with your buddies, and you get to meet people that maybe you've seen on YouTube, or maybe somebody that's been like here in the chat, and you finally get to meet those people. Bells is one of the people that I've met and enjoyed seeing Bells, and she's been a loyal follower and subscriber to our channel since then. And again, you get to meet all you guys, and that's what makes it so much fun. So we appreciate each and every one of you. LC Hunt said, if I had one shot at a virgin sight, I would use the 13-inch coil, but at your normal pounded sight, the 9-inch coil. Very good. And again, the problem is that, it may be loaded with iron, but maybe you don't know that it's loaded with iron. Then what happens if you got a bigger coil? I mean, that's where you go like, oh no, I don't have the right coil. I always carry an extra coil too, in case, you never know. Edward G says that I found all best finds with 5x9 on the Legend. I like the 5x9 on the Legend. That's a great coil and does really good at unmasking as well. I use the 9-inch diving with the Deus 2, 11-inch in other places, 13-inch for seated hunts. That's a great way to go about attacking that. Quick Cat 21MK says, with smaller coil, I use Manicore. Does it punch deeper? I think all of the coils on the Manicore are deep, don't you, Michael?
I do. That 9-inch coil, it's. Now I've been impressed with the depth on it. It's really deep.
Right. Digging Dude says, my detecting sites are so hunted out, I'm going to need some seeded hunts. Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. Again, I know Digging Dude, I know you go back into sites continuously, but yeah, I mean, it happens, and then you got to go out and try to find new sites. I think Michael's dealing with some of the same things up in his area. It's just hard sometimes. You've hunted a bunch of places, and there's just not much there anymore. And
Right.
but that's when it's really good, when a new machine or a new coil comes out, and then you go back to those sites, and then all of a sudden those sites are responding all over again. Isn't it, Michael?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that happen several times.
Right. Corey Kunkel says the Show Me hunt was a great time last year. Yeah, I've heard of that hunt and heard it's a good one as well. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Dig and Daryl, for the super chat. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. And yes, that will help with shipping costs for our lucky winners tonight. So that's I really appreciate that, Digging Daryl. Always a great supporter of the channel and helping others out, and that's why he is an awesome dude, and we appreciate him, and we are so glad that he is with us on our channel. So thank you, Digging Daryl, so much. So yeah, so Michael, we covered the two things. Is there anything else you want to talk?
Did you have that picture you were going?
Oh yeah. We need to do that real quick. So Michael, I did not send it to. Let me see if I can pull it. Guys, so we had one on my Facebook group. We had a great comment from one of our followers on Facebook, and he was. Let's see if I can save it. He shared with us the NC field program that Michael and I developed, and we came up with that program. Michael, tell the story while I'm hunting for this picture.
Um, well, I got a field up here, and it's highly fertilized, and it's red soil. I mean, it's really red soil, and it's really tough to get any depth, or it's almost like hunting, culpepper type soil. But anyway, Brian, somebody had sent you some soil to test, some hot soil.
It was Dan. It was Surfside Dan.
Or Dan, yeah, Dan had it, and you said the only program that would really hit that target was sensitive, right?
Yeah,
So
the
we kind
only
of
program. Dan brought me the hot soil from Culpeper, and I tested the Deus 2 on that hot soil, and it was the only program that I could get the target to even come through in that hot dirt. All the other programs just were silent as well. So again, it was just really, really, really silent. And I went over to sensitive, and then sensitive was the program that worked. And it was just, to me, it was just amazing that that program worked. I'm trying to pull this up real quick, Michael, if I can find it. And it's on here, I know, somewhere, and it's probably under image. But Michael, tell them how we have that program set up in case anybody is hunting hot dirt and they want to know how to actually use it.
um, I think we got it. We have it set up in. Did we run it in pitch, Brian?
No, we
Or
ran
we
it in we ran it in
Yeah, we ran
sensitive,
it. We ran it in full tones, didn't we?
and we ran it in full tone. So this was from Mr. Mike Wright on my Southern Relic Adventures Facebook group. This is the group page. And he says, I got to love that NC Field program on the Deus 2. Came out with a great find, pulled out of an area around Culpeper, Virginia. And it is a Rhode Island naval button, two piece, but a beauty of a button. So I've never seen one of those before. How about you, Michael?
I haven't either. I really haven't. That's the first one I've seen.
Yeah. Bell said, "Darn it, Brian! I would have got to see you again if you could have made it to Cadoa. I was hoping I could have made it, but I just had too much going on." Bell says, "Hey, I appreciate all you do to share your knowledge and experience. Thank you, Bells. I appreciate you as well." Um, Corey Kunkel says a six pounder cannonball for him last year at Show Me. Wow. Digging Dude says one of my bucket list things to go down south to find the Civil War three ringer bullets and such. Only found one up here in New York. Well, yeah, you got to do that, Digging Dude. Come on down south. There aren't a lot of places to dig three ringers, but if you get down around below Charleston, there seems like there's a lot in that area in South Carolina. Um, Digging Daryl, she said, Digging Daryl, I will definitely keep an eye out for you from Bells. Looking at all the comments. Relics and Rings says you need a PI for that field, Michael.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Probably
Yeah.
do.
Patrick Parker said, did I test any other machines with that dirt? I think we tried the Manicore on that dirt. I can't remember. Dan's on here, but I know we ran the Deus 2, and the Manicore was really struggling with it. And that brings up another point that Michael and I were talking about. Michael, don't you feel like the Deus 2 does better with mineralized dirt than the Manicore has done on that field?
To me, I think I get more depth and a clearer signal with the Deus too.
Yeah.
From just the way I've had it set up. Yeah.
Right. Dan says he's still got that dirt, so maybe we'll have to test out some other machines with it. We'll get
Right.
Dan to bring some of that dirt down. Yes, that is a nice button, and I mean, I saw it on there, and he mentioned the NC Field program, so he watched our channel and saw that set up and ran it in Culpeper and came out with a beautiful Rhode Island naval button. And Bill says that's a beautiful button. Don't Tread on Me says did dig my first and only cannonball last year, a 3-inch, 4-pound light artillery round. Congratulations. Don't tread on me.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Michael. So let's I was glad I was able to find that I was glad I was able to find that image, Michael. So thanks for reminding me. So guys, it's about time to do our drawing. So we've got a couple things. First off, XP was nice enough to send us a fines pouch. And so we're going to give away a nice little fines pouch tonight. And we're also going to give away, as one of our proud supporters, and he's on here tonight, Mr. Andrew. Andrew's Gearbox. And at Andrew's Gearbox, Michael, you can get some great t-shirts like this. And they're metal detecting t-shirts. And we're going to give one of these away tonight. And also on Andrew's site, he's got some great metal detecting caps. Here's a camo cap. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, and we're gonna give away one of these tonight. So again, so how do you get into the drawing? Remember, you had to leave a comment on the shorts video, which was wow, crazy find from the 1700s, which was on my channel. So you had to leave a comment on there in order to be in for the drawing, because we're going to use the comment picker to pick a winner for a hat. And we got a t-shirt. We're going to give away all these in one shot. Hat, t-shirt, and an XP Finds pouch. What do you think, Michael? That's a nice setup,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's a good giveaway.
That's a great giveaway. And those shirts are really cool. And he's got some different ones. And I mean, I'll let him decide, but he's got some. I'll show some of these others that he has on his site, because he's been a very, very nice to share these with us. There's one, Treasure Hunter. You know, if you like that kind of shirt, you know, that's pretty cool with the pirate skull on there. Black Ops metal detecting, which is his thing. I like the American flag one, which looks like this. That's a cool looking shirt, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, it is. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. And it says Treasure Hunter on it. And then he has the black one, and it says Relic Hunter on it. So yeah, so Andrew's got all of those shirts. He's got different styles of caps too. I showed you guys the camo one, but there's a black one with the gray patch on there. And then he's got one that looks like this, and it says Happy Hunting. But I think he's got all these listed on there, so he can leave a comment on that. But we're going to give away a shirt. We're going to give away a cap, and we're going to give an XP Finds pouch. The XP Finds pouch came from XP, so thank you, XP, for being a loyal sponsor of our live streams. We appreciate that, and thank them for sending that. Yes, so yeah, we're giving away some nice prizes tonight for one of our lucky winners. Yeah, I love that shirt too. Right. So Ricky Bennett says hashtag Manicore. Ricky, you got to go over to the shorts video, leave a comment, and then we're gonna pull. Let me cut that down. We're gonna pull a comment from that shorts video, and if your name gets pulled, you are the lucky winner. Camo cap is the bomb. I like the camo cap. Yeah, it's nice. I'll show that camo cap one more time. There we go. Camo cap. We'll put Andrew's thing back up tonight. Andrew's gear box, and he's got a bunch of things on there for you guys, but there's the camo cap. You like that one, Michael?
Yeah, I do like that one.
And these are good caps, and I love Richardson is the name brand that he's using, and the shirts a little bit are soft, so he can tell you a little bit about the brand of the shirt, but it's a really soft cotton. So we're gonna do that tonight as our giveaways. So Michael, I'm gonna give everybody a few more chances to go over to the video and leave a comment. Let's see if I can, I don't know if it'll let me do it this way or not. I will copy the link to the video in the chat. Let's see if it'll do that. If anybody wants to get in, just leave a comment over there on the video. The link is in the chat. So if you want to go over there and leave a comment right now, I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that. And thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And I hope someone wins this that really, really, really wants it. So, and these are good. Relics and Rings says that the shirts are next level in comfort colors, is what he said. Lance says, how much is an XP Finds pouch if I buy one? They're like 20, I want to say like 26 or $28. They're somewhere in that
Getting
range.
close to $30, yeah.
Yeah, they're somewhere in that range, if I remember correctly. And we've got, thank you, LC, for leaving a super chat. Thank you so much again. That will go straight back to the channel and straight back to the live stream and the giveaways that we're doing. So we appreciate that. Digging Dude says huge giveaway. Glad to have Digging Dude on here. We appreciate him. So yeah, we got a couple things going on. I'm giving you guys a few minutes. The link for the shorts video is in the chat. You can click on that link, go watch the video, leave a comment over there, and that puts you into the running for our giveaway. Patrick Parker says he says he learned a lot again. Well, thank you, Patrick. That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to help everyone out and share what we've been doing. And we don't claim to be professionals, and we don't claim to be experts. We just go out and have fun and want to share what we're doing with everyone. So we appreciate you being here and being a part of our show tonight. So yes, Workman's Adventure, always great information. Thank you so much. Those are the types of comments that Michael and I really like, because that's what we're ultimately trying to do. And I'm a school teacher, so you guys know that's all I do is I try to share information, help kids out, help metal detectors out. So again, that's just my nature, and that's the way I've always been. And Michael's the same way. We're always trying to help others out as well. So we appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, Patrick Parker says, I claim to be a rookie. Sometimes I feel like a rookie, to be honest with you. How about you, Michael?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you learn something every day.
Right.
Or every time you go,
And again, you go out there and you just have fun. That's all it is. When I go out and I go metal detecting, I love just being outside, and being out there and it's peace and quiet. To me, that's what makes this hobby so special. Yes. Digging Dude says, great time. Prospectors Cash is A+, Brian. I appreciate that so much, Prospectors Cash. And we work hard. We really do, to try to bring content to you guys and to give you guys something that you can take out to the field and start using immediately. Edward G says, always enjoy being here for the live shows. Great group. It is. This is to me, I think we have the best group on YouTube. I really do. And I enjoy everyone, and everyone is so knowledgeable and willing to share information as well. So that's what makes it a lot of fun. So again, let's see how many comments we got over here now. So we got 35 comments over there. We got 46 people. So yeah. Ricky Bennett says SRA, the Learning Channel. Yes, thank you so much, Ricky. We appreciate you, buddy. You're always a loyal supporter and subscriber, and we appreciate it so, so much. Yeah, James, I'm the same way. He said, been detecting for 53 years and still learning. Look, I'm always learning. When you stop learning is when you run into trouble. You know, when you think you know everything, and that's been my motto throughout my entire life. I always feel like there's something new to learn and something to challenge you. You got to listen. You know, there's no one set way to do things in a lot of different cases. Yes. Digging Dude says, yeah, the more I think I know, the more I realize I'm a student in life. Right. That's a great quote, by the way. Awesome. Awesome quote. Edward G says, I commented when you posted the video. There you go, Edward G. Stay on top of it. That's pretty much how we're going to be doing our prize giveaways from now on, is leaving a comment over there, because we're going to use the YouTube random comment selector to pick our winners. So again, if I put a video over there, go over there and leave a comment, and that'll help. You may get ahead of the game. Uh-oh. Look what Aggie says. Damien says hi from the Bahamas. Damien's in the Bahamas, Michael. How
Yeah,
about that?
that's good. I mean, happy for him.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I wish I could go to the Bahamas, but look, there is a storm
Yeah,
down there.
is
So maybe
yeah, it is. Yeah, maybe.
he says, if it wasn't for folks like this group, I'd be backstepping instead of moving forward in this hobby. Thank you, USMC 615. We really appreciate that. That means a lot. It really does. All right, Michael, you ready to do this?
Yeah, this one it didn't really spin it. It just randomly picks it real fast.
Right. Yeah. You put it in and it picks it. I'm going to share the screen. So, and if you win tonight, just to put this up, if you win tonight, please email me at sransc@gmail.com. We would greatly appreciate it, and let us know, and send us your address, and we will get you hooked up. But again, we got a hat. One more time. We got a hat, a shirt from Andrew's Gearbox, and we've also got an XP Vines pouch. So we're going to be giving away all of this tonight to the lucky winner. So thank you guys again for being here tonight. And let's do this, Michael. So let me share my screen. And we're going to do a screen share. Share this screen. There it is, Michael. And we're going to put in our video, and we're going to paste it in here. And let's see who the lucky winner is going to be. And hopefully that person's here. And if they're not here, then we'll do it again. How about that, Michael?
Yeah.
Sound fair?
Yeah, James Bazell said he's having back surgery. So let's remember James tomorrow.
Oh, prayers for you, James. And I hope it all goes well. I might be having knee surgery real soon. So me and James might be both laid up together, won't we, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, James, I hope it all goes well. We'll be praying for you, buddy. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, and by the way, Digging Daryl is having back surgery too. So again, he's having it on November the 5th. And Digging Daryl, our prayers will be with you, and hope it all goes well. And we're hoping for a fast and speedy recovery for both of you guys as well. So let's do this drawing, Michael. So let's see what happens. Let's see who it's going to be. Fetch. What? No.
You got something wrong.
I know. What the heck? Let's see what it did. Maybe it won't do shorts. Maybe it has to be a video. I don't think so. Let's try it again. All right, let's try it one more time. Anything goes. Is anything goes here tonight?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing that name.
I don't remember seeing that name either, but we can draw again if anything goes is not here. So I don't think he was here. It could have been somebody that's not on here, but again, they have to be here. They have to be here to win. So let's do it again, Michael.
All right.
What do you think?
Yeah. Try it again.
Let's try it again. Let's see what else. Let's see who can be lucky. There you go. Good luck, everybody. And let's try it again. And we're going to go again. Here we go, guys. Wait a minute. No, anything goes is the I'm sorry. Anything goes is the thing that you use. Hang on. Here we
Okay.
go. Ready? Pick a winner.
Yeah.
DSM metal detecting is the lucky winner. Is he here?
Let's see.
I think he was here earlier.
He's still on here. Let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a filter. You're right. Yeah, it filters the comment. Oh, there goes anything. DSM, are you here? We're going to wait and see if he leaves a comment. If he doesn't leave a comment, we're going to move on. Yeah, hit continue. Wilton was right. Well, let's see if he's here first. He's got to be here. Is he here? Chris says, I don't think so. He shouldn't have left. Danny N says, congrats. We're going to wait. We'll give him a few minutes to see if he responds. That was funny. It was funny. That says that's a filter. It is. We can draw again. I'm waiting. You see him, Michael?
I haven't seen him.
Okay. He was in here earlier. I know. He went to bed. 5 Mile Relic Hunter said he went to bed. All right. You want to do it again, Michael?
Yeah, let's do it one more time.
Yeah. Well, look. You snooze, you lose. Let's see here. Let's refresh this. All right. So we're going to try it again. And here we go. Fake news, redraw. Got to stay till the end. That's right. Let's see what happens again. All right. And we know that anything goes is a filter, Michael, by the way. Metal detecting, is that northwestern Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think that's it. I know he's on here.
Yeah, he was on here earlier. I know.
He's on, he just commented a little bit ago, so he's on here.
Metal detected northwestern Wisconsin. Are you here?
Let's see.
Yeah. These people that left, they losing out. Metal detected northwest.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is. He's here. Yes, finally. All right. Well, hey, metal detected northwestern Wisconsin, you are the proud winner of a hat from Andrew's Gearbox and a t-shirt as well as a finds pouch. Yes. So congratulations on your win. Thank you. You're always a great supporter of the channel too. So super excited that you were our winner. And again, we've got a video coming up. So for next week's live, when we do our giveaway, just make sure you leave a comment on our upcoming video. Yes, and we will get you entered in on the drawing, and we will draw from our random comment picker. And again, sorry for the little bit of technical difficulty, Michael. I've only used that one time before, so you live and learn, right, Michael?
That's right.
We
Yeah.
just got through talking about you're never, you're always constantly learning, right? Yes, Relics and Rings says, let him know what size you want, metal detector, northwestern Wisconsin, and I will send you the hat and the t-shirt Relics and Rings, if you want to put up your email in the chat so he can shoot you an email, or I can share the email with him as well, one way or the other. So there we go. So his shirt, cap, and a fines pouch tonight from Metal Detecting Northwestern Wisconsin. And we appreciate him. Yeah, he's here. He says he wants a 2X shirt, Andrew, Relics and Rings. Quick Cat, they talking about the back surgery, and Digging Daryl. I saw Digging Daryl posted he's gonna have his, what was it, his L1, L4, I think is what he said. Yeah, L4, L5, and S1 fused together. Ooh, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, thank y'all so much. We're gonna quit sharing the screen. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys for the donations tonight. Again, all those donations go straight back into the channel. And we are super excited to be with you guys here every weekend. We will have a live stream. Michael, I did a Friday night. I probably will do another Friday night live stream, and then maybe Michael and I will come back. Michael's son plays high school football, but we might do a Friday night live stream and a Sunday night live stream, just like what we did this weekend for the next few weeks at least. And as Michael begins to wrap up high school football season, my season's still continuing. It's just I don't have anything going on, and I don't have to leave at the butt crack of dawn on a Saturday morning. So anyway, we're going to get through these next few weekends. I hope everyone has a great work week or a great week in general. Maybe get out there, go metal detecting, use some of the things that we talked about tonight, have fun doing it, and go out and enjoy yourself. And we hope everyone has a fantastic week. And we will catch you guys next weekend. We'll have a Friday night show and a Sunday night show for you guys next weekend as we get closer. And who knows, maybe we'll have some news coming up. Maybe. We'll see. You never know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. I believe we're getting closer, but I don't know yet. So maybe there'll be something big that happens this week, and we'll bring that information to you if it does. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. Have a great
Let me
weekend.
ask you one thing, Brian. What about,
Yeah.
I know you said Friday, what about a Halloween special?
Ooh, Halloween special. But you already dressed up. You're dressed up as Sasquatch.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the munchkins on the Wizard of Oz.
Oh man, you're just mean, Michael. Just mean. They said yes. Drummond Detecting says huge news. Yeah, I would. I don't know anything, guys. I'm just saying maybe there'll be something big that happens in the next few weeks, and we'll really have
Yeah, I think it will.
something to talk about. But we're gonna keep after it. We appreciate you guys. They said thanks for the show. Good stuff. Thank you guys. Digging Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, Jesus, you laugh out loud, Brian. Yeah, great show. Have a good night, CZ Kid. Thank you guys. We'll see y'all next weekend. Take care. Talk to you later, and we'll catch you on our next adventure. See you guys. Have a good one. Talk
Good
to you
night,
later.
guys.